What's up, YouTube? Fantard, doing a video for Fairy Tail Chapter 544. One more chapter left. One more chapter. I might do a live reaction for that chapter. We'll see. I really don't like doing live reactions though. But this chapter, I mean, was shit. Man, you know, what the fuck? Yeah, Fairy Tail's going. They pretty much treating Acnologia's character like shit, and they defeat Acnologia, and that's what defeats him. And the way they do it isn't like complete BS, but it's like so unfulfilling. But that's basically the story for Fairy Tail. We start off with this chapter. So apparently, Fairy Sphere fails initially, and Acnologia and Natsu are still fighting, and Acnologia is still acting his one-dimensional cliche self. Destruction. He just wants to destroy this whole world. He wants to bathe in the blood of dragons, and it's pretty much it for his character. That's all we know about him, and that's all I come to care about Acnologia, even though I thought his character had so much potential. But anyway, and apparently, and the person who comes to rescue, who ends up saving all of Fairy Tail, is Meredy, and she's able to connect all the mages with her power. And here's what gets confusing, and I'm like, wait, I gotta look back how her power works. But apparently, since they're all connected, they're able to get all the power of the magic from the whole fucking continent. And I don't remember her power doing that. All I remember is she connects her powers through their wrists, and she's able to make a connection. Whatever that person feels, she's able to feel. And if you connect all the mages, I don't exactly know how does that result in them getting power throughout the whole continent. Because initially that is what's used to defeat Acnologia. And they all get the power, they create Fairy Sphere again, they hold down Acnologia, and Natsu, who has all the powers from the 7 Dragon Slayers, they're able to hold Acnologia in place. He can't move, and he deals the final blow, and he basically gives Acnologia a talk no jutsu / speech. He's like, this is what happens when you get greedy. You can't have all that in your hands, destruction, power, all of that, the blood of the dragons in your hand. And then Acnologia, and this is so stupid. I mean, if you're gonna go out, at least go out on what you believe in. Don't get convinced just like that. Acnologia gets convinced, and like, oh, I see, you are the one who is worthy of the title of king. And I'm like, what? Oh, come on, dude. The thing is, we don't even know Acnologia's character that well, to even if he can get talk no jutsu. So Fairy Tail did a / talk no jutsu of Acnologia kind of getting converted, or him conceding to Natsu, saying oh, I see, I understand now. I'm like, what? First off, you barely even know Natsu. What the fuck? You have no connection to him whatsoever, other than him destroying Acnologia. Other than him defeating Ignium. And we never got a flashback or the history of Acnologia and how he took down the dragons. And the only cool thing about this chapter was when they showed a little flashback panel of him defeating Ignio. So it's like Natsu getting retribution, for his father. But I'm like, that's it, I mean, Acnologia gets defeated and he gets convinced by Natsu. We don't know anything about Acnologia's character, even if he can get talk no jutsu. We have nothing on him. And for him just to be convinced like that after all the destruction that he caused, that was complete bullshit. I did not like that at all. And he pretty much just disintegrated. And yeah, that's pretty much the chapter. Fairy Tail wins. Such a shocker. Yep. Meredy using her magic to connect everyone, then all of a sudden they get the power from the whole fucking continent. I'll have to look at the chapter again, but that just seemed really way out of left field, kind of BS. And then Natsu using the 7 Dragon Slayers' power to defeat Acnologia, just because he was pretty much held in place from the other side, from the whole other mages. At least it was teamwork. If there's anything you can get from this, is that they use teamwork to defeat Acnologia. At least that helps out a little. Kind of takes away from the pain that my heart has endured for a long time with Fairy Tail. I just wish it's so unfulfilling, and Fairy Tail just did not feed my imagination and what could have been with this war arc. I really thought this war arc could have been beastly. You know, I thought Fairy Tail was on the right track, you know, with Tartarus. Avatar arc sucked. But after that, I thought it was pretty good, you know, with the story of Zeref and Mavis. That ended up going to shit. And of course, we have the utter disappointment of Zeref getting one-shotted and then killed by Mavis's love. Just Fairy Tail being very underwhelming. And the rest of the chapter is you see Natsu falling down. He falls on top of Lucy, and they're happy. At least Lucy was on point. You know, Lucy did her part in this war. I thought Lucy was a pretty consistent character throughout this war, and I really enjoy her. She's my favorite character, and just the execution for Hiramashima was just so bad. And there's so many good characters in fucking Fairy Tail, but I've always said this a lot of times, billions of times when it comes to reviewing Fairy Tail. It's just always like what could have been with Fairy Tail, you know? You know, the potential was there, and I had like the same vibes that I got from when I first started watching Naruto, when I first started watching Fairy Tail. And I'm like, oh man, this is really cool. And I thought people had overreacted to Fairy Tail being like this bad and this shit. And when I first started watching Fairy Tail with the anime version, I just started off as an anime only, and I thought this is pretty cool and this is pretty awesome. And then we get to the Grand Magic games, and I'm like, that is shit. And then after that, you get to Tartarus arc, and I'm like, okay, here we go. You know, it's getting good again. And I follow the manga. The Avatar arc blew, but then there were some good arcs, and I'm like, okay, yeah, you know, Fairy Tail seems to be back on track. And then the war arc happens, and I'm like, okay, holy shit, this is like typical Hiramashima, like the worst of him came. But whatever, it's his manga, he can do whatever he wants. But Acnologa's character, Zeref's character, so much hype behind them, so much build up for so many years, and then the worst thing was E&D. That went nowhere, and it's just, for me, Fairy Tail will always be a special place in my heart, and I'm definitely gonna review the final chapter, because I do love Fairy Tail. I really do love Fairy Tail, but it's always like, what could have been, you know, what could have been, you know, like with One Piece or with Naruto. Even though Naruto had some iffy moments, it still fulfilled my desire for a great ending and just a great shonen. And for One Piece, it's still going strong, you know, fucking what's happening with fucking Big Mom and the Straw Hat Pirates. But Fairy Tail, it's always going to be like what could have been, and it's like just it's kind of like a tragedy for Fairy Tail. I do love the characters. I do love Lucy, and now I guess all that I care about is seeing Natsu and Lucy get together, because I do ship them. And that's pretty much it for this chapter. This chapter was kind of bogus. It was bad. It just 2 out of 5. What can I say? From a Kuroko standpoint, 2 out of 5. But from, you know, a sadness standpoint, 0 out of 5. Because I'm kind of sad how this war arc has gone. You know, this is from a legit Fairy Tail fan, and this is what it feels like to be a fan. I'm not a Fairy Tail tard. I am a fan tard, but not. I'm a fan tard, as in, like, I always like to look on the positive side when it comes to manga or anime or anything for that matter. See, when it comes to Fairy Tail, there's so much bad in it, but there's also a lot of good of it. There's a good chunk of good in it, even though people, like, will only talk about the bad. But for me, the good will always outweigh the bad, even if the bad seems to be a little big. So for every 5 bad chapters, 2 good chapters can make me see the positives of Fairy Tail. And that's why I'm so fucking fan tard. Anyway. So, Fairy Tail, 1 more chapter to go. It's been strong, it's been good. But, moving on from Fairy Tail after this, I'm gonna add another manga or anime to this once Fairy Tail's over. I'll do a live reaction to it, and I'll do a review, and then that will be the end of it. Goodbye, Fairy Tail. Not yet. We're getting there. I'm talking too much. Alright, Fantard out. Hope you guys subscribe, like my Facebook page. Bye.